Right. So today we're going to discuss about repositories, or like I can say version control systems. Version control system, VCS, or repository. Okay. So what is exactly the version control system or repository? Why we need to use that one, and what are the different tools we have? Okay. So what exact like so currently what you're doing when you're writing the code?
Just writing the code in the IntelliJ IDE
Uh-huh.
and saving like normal save.
Okay, where you're saving?
In the system like documents,
Okay, in which machine, which computer you're saving?
Windows.
In your laptop you're saving it, right?
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
saving in my laptop. That's
Yes. So when you go to your company, how many people will be working on that?
so many people.
Like for example, in your team for automation framework,
Mm-hmm.
how many people will be working on automation framework? The whole team will be working on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, so when multiple people are working on one project, okay, even the
Okay.
developers will
Same
be
process.
also there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When multiple people are working together
Mm-hmm.
on one system, okay, so then what's going to happen, like if they are like like so what do you say, like I can say uh, they're just creating a lot of developing the code. Each and every developer is working on different features. Okay. So when each and every person is working on different features, they might be doing the changes on the same files as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how they're going to collaborate with each other, how they're going to communicate with each other, how it's going to be combined everything together, and how it's going to be deployed onto the test environment and production environment, and etc etc. Okay. So basically the version control system will be used, okay, to record the changes to the file or set of files. Okay. Version control system will be used to record the changes, so what is version control system means? What is version control system? The version control, what is version control, and why we
It
need to care about the version control?
it's
Because
used to
the
record.
version control is a system. Version control is a system, okay, which will record, which records the changes, to a file. So you might be changing one file, or you might be changing set of files. Okay.
Okay.
So over time, what you'll do over time, so so today you'll be changing two files, so tomorrow you'll be on in the evening you'll be changing five files, and tomorrow you'll be adding 10 more files. So basically, over the period of time, so you'll be accumulating a lot of files and a set of files basically. Okay. So the system, this particular version control system will record the changes to the file or set of files over over the time, so that you can recall specific version later, so that you can recall specific version you can recall specific version, okay, in the later.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you want to go back to particular version, you can go back, even though what you can say, yeah.
And all these
See, if you are
changes will
having,
say.
if you so for example, if you are a graphic, or if you are a web designer, okay,
Mhm.
for example, let's say there will be so many different type of people in the company, right?
Yeah.
So you're a web designer, and you want to keep each and every version of the image and layout, okay, and because you want to keep all the versions.
Okay.
So this version control system will allow you to go back to particular version,
Okay.
to go back to previous version, to revert the entire project to go back to the previous state. Okay, this just by one command or one click. Okay, one selection, one couple of selections. Okay, so for example, like today you have something and tomorrow you done a lot of changes and again you want to come back today. Yeah, and 1st of November you done some changes. Okay, and you put and you that looks very nice for you, that page looks very nice for you. Okay, and you shown it to your product owner and he was very much satisfied. Okay, and you said like you want to do some more improvements, and then you done a lot of improvements, and tomorrow and you came up with the new changes and you shown it to your product owner and you said this is not good, the one which you shown me yesterday, that was really good, on 1st of November that was good. Then if you want to go back to the previous version, you can easily go back by using this particular version control system, by using this version control system without causing any problem, that means like you can revert the files back to previous state. Okay, reverting the entire project to the previous state and reviewing the changes you made over the time. Okay, and also you can able to verify, by using this system you can able to verify who made the last change. Okay, if there is any problems happening, by which change this problem is occurring and who made that changes, you can track back. Is it clear? So version control system is version control is a system which records the changes to a file or number of files over time, so that you can able to recall to the specific version for later changes.
Okay.
Is it clear? So in the companies you will be having a lot of different people basically. Okay, so as I said, like example, or you can say like developer. Okay, developer want to keep every version of application. Okay, developer want to keep every version of application. Okay, and the UI designer, you can say, I know, so developer, you can say web developer, web design developer, whatever. Okay, for the website, whoever developing that application, so he want to keep each and the older version, and he want to revert, go back to the previous session as well. Okay, so this version control system will allows, this version control system will allows you to revert the whole project as well, to revert files back to a previous version, okay, and you can also revert the entire project, back to previous version. Okay, previous state or version, and also you can able to review the changes made over the time period. Okay, and also you can see who made the last change. You can see who modified something. One second. So here what you can do, you can see the modify. Now you can see who modified something that is causing a problem. Okay, something that might be causing a problem, Okay, so you can see who modified something which is causing a problem. Okay, and who introduced that issue and when they introduced the issue. Okay, and more and more details you can able to trace. Okay, by using this VCS also, like what to say, uh, if you're losing some files you can recover easily.
Okay.
Okay, if you lose some files, you can recover easily. You can recover easily by using
VCS.
VCS, version control system. Okay, so that means like it is containing, it is keeping all the versions, right? It is keeping all the versions, and in addition, like you'll get the very little overhead. So you're not going to have too much overhead. Okay, so because you are keeping all the versions and dates and everything, you'll be having it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where all these changes will save?
Yeah, I'll tell you that we'll have different tools for that to store. See how you are storing, like
in my PC.
like you did different type of in your PC. So you will have different servers. Actually, you will be having different tools which will be stored in a server. So you will be pushing your details to that server. So that server, if you are using any tools in that server, like that software will maintain all these things whenever you push changes. And one more thing is, like many people will be working on the same one. Okay, many people will be working on the same project. Okay, so like many people's version control method of choice is basically copying the files to another directory. In previous days, what they used to do, so whatever the project files are there, by end of the day you need to copy and paste it in a like shared drive. In a secured shared network drive, you supposed to paste it. In the previous days, actually, that is how people used to do in the previous days. Okay. So this is very common because it's very simple. You copy and paste end of the day, and you will name it today's date. The project name, your date, your name. You'll post it. Sorry, you'll paste it in the network drive, network shared drive. Okay. So like it's very simple, and it's also incredibly error prone as well. You might make some mistakes as well. Instead of copying something, you might copy something else, the wrong one as well. Okay, it's easy to forget which directory you are in as well. Okay, instead of writing in one file, you might be like pasting in you might be pasting different one as well, wrong file.
Yeah.
Okay, there might be a mistake because you're doing manually.
Yes.
So in order to deal with this issue, programmers long ago, they developed this version control system. They developed this version control system mechanism. Okay, so and we have centralized version control system and distributed version control systems. Centralized version control system as well as distributed version control system. Okay, they have in VCS you have centralized version control system, and another one is distributed version control system. Okay, so the major issue that the people will be encountering is that they need to collaborate with each and every developer, right? When you're working as a team.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to collaborate with each other. So because you'll have developer one will be doing changes in one file, developer two will be doing some changes in one file, developer three will be doing some changes in another file. In order to deal with this problem, the centralized version control system were developed. So what happens? All the people will be pushing their changes to one server. Okay. There are some softwares like CVS, Subversion, okay, Perforce. Okay, the way they're having single server will be there, which will be containing all different type of versions. Okay. So and for they can use this one, but this setup offers we have some advantages, like especially over the sorry, let's take an example. kind of example we can do? It's like single point system for everything, right? So how you see this setup has some serious downsides. Basically, the most obvious thing is single point of failure in the centralized server represents. Okay, if server goes down for an hour, during that time nobody can able to collaborate with each other. Nobody can able to save the chain or changes which you did. Okay,
Okay.
if the hard disk if the hard disk got crashed of the centralized database server, okay, that particular centralized server, then whatever everything will be corrupted, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so and if you don't keep the proper backups, okay, if you will lose everything. You lose the complete history of the project. You lose the complete history of the project. Okay, so that is what the reason it came distributed version control systems came up. Distributed version control systems came up. So let me show you that. Right. So here I can show you. First, you used to have local version control systems. Actually, this approach is very common. It is I can say what we can say this is for example, these are the changes you are done on your local machine, right? So and you used you used to have a local version control database, and there you used to store all your versions. There you, by using that software on your local machine, you used to do those changes, right? So, but this centralized centralized database, centralized version control system, where you will be having more developers or more people will be working on the same. Okay, so you have developer A computer, developer is using one computer, developer 2 is using another computer, developer 3, developer 4, they'll be making the changes on the files, different files. Okay, they are working on the same files, different features, but which is impacting the same, where they need to change it on the same files. Okay, or they might be adding new file, they might be deleting the new file, then they might be changing the files. Okay, they might be doing some improvements in the existing code. So what they will do, they will keep one centralized version control system server. Okay, the one version control system server, and then people used to push the code from this. Okay, so from this particular version control system, they used to take the latest version, and they used to add their code, they used to push. This is how it used to work.
And all the changes will save automatically.
Yeah, all the changes will saved automatically, and all the history will be saved in that one. Okay, and in the distributed control system, this is where here in this distributed version control system, you can say here we have different softwares for this one.
Okay.
Right, for centralized version control system, we have softwares like CVS and SVN. Okay, they are all centralized database centralized version control system softwares. So yeah, if you don't take any data any backups of the server, if something goes wrong with the server, so everybody will be losing all the changes. Everybody will be losing all the changes, and which is done by other people as well. So what is the example of this one? The example of what is a centralized database? The example of centralized database is CVS SVN. These are the different tools, different softwares.
Mhm.
I can say Subversion, you can say Subversion. Okay, or Perforce. Okay, these are the different type of softwares, like which is used for centralized version control system. These are the different softwares of centralized version control system, right? So for distributed version control systems, we have, this is what we'll be using in the current world, and this is what we're going to learn as well. Okay, so we have Git, okay, and we have Mercurial, we have Bazaar or Darcy, so on. There's so many. Okay, so here we're going to, here we got like a Git and GitHub.
Mhm.
Okay, so Git is a local internal server, and GitHub is a like cloud server basically. So here we're going to learn GitHub, which is a distributed version control system. Distributed version control system, right? So see, these, by using this distributed version control system, it's basically like let's say, for example, in this case, if there is any server dies and these systems were collaborating with each other, and the client repositories can be copied and back up to the server and restore, so that every checkout is really and fully backed up here. Because every, in this computer as well, they are having a version, in this computer as well they are having version. Okay, and these two computers also having connections, and these two computers also having connection, these two computers also having connection. That means if something goes wrong, so still you are having copies on other systems, right?
Okay.
So that you can take the backup,
Backup
so that you
from
can
there.
take the backup from other things. Okay, so
Okay.
it's like more reliable and more secured in terms of and there is less chances of losing the data.
Data.
Okay, or code which will be creating it. Okay,
Mhm.
so if you say here, like we'll be learning about Git basically.
Mhm.
Okay, like by this Git is basically like very, like it's very fast and simple design, easy to understand, very strong. Okay, and it's a distributed, it's not centralized, it's a
Yeah.
distributed version
Yes.
control system. Okay, and able to handle large projects on this one, able to
Mhm.
understand, able to handle large projects, and it maintains all the versions as well as the history, all versions as well as the history. Okay, if I, it's not only this centralized repository, sorry, the control version control system is not only for developers. Okay, so
Mhm.
in companies, what are the different people? You'll be having BS and POs, you'll have business people, you'll have developers, you'll have DevOps, you'll have manual testers, automation testers, and you'll have management people like project managers, IT department managers, sales managers. So
Mhm.
everybody will be having their own documentation, their own code, their own files, right? They'll be maintaining.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so instead of maintaining them in their local machines, so they'll be using one version control system server. Okay, in version
Mhm.
control system server, they will be having different repos. It's like a folders. See
Okay.
how you'll, in shared drive, how people used to have different folders for different department.
Mhm.
Okay, in the same way, in this server they'll be having different repositories. In the version control system server, they'll be having different one
Different.
repo is called a one repository server. They will have different repositories. One
Mhm.
repository for business people like BS and POs, one repository for developers, like not one, like few, so some repositories for developers, some repositories for testers, some repositories for DevOps, some repositories for management people, like this.
Mhm.
Okay, so these are the version control systems. There are so many version control systems here. Like in the
Mhm.
example is CVS, SV and Tortoise, Subversion, GitHub, okay, etc., etc. There are so many different type of things. So, and what is the specialty of this version control system? This version control systems will maintain the history as well as the versions of the software. Okay, it will maintain the history and versions of the files, each and every individual file as well.
Okay.
If you change one file like 3 months ago, and if you want go back to 3 months and you want to check it, you can able to check it, each and every file.
Okay.
Not as a all as a whole project. If you want to revert only one particular file, you can revert. If you want to revert whole project, you can revert to that change. You can keep that change. Does that make sense? And here, see, you might observe, like, whenever you try to upgrade your Apple operating system, you will be seeing the versions there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is like, whatever the changes they made, the developers made the change, accordingly they will, the versions will be coming up. Okay, but here in the version control system, the versions will be automatically generated, okay, based on different softwares. Version control, like, the versions will be generated differently. But normally, like, when we create versions manually, or when we refer to the versions, okay, so I'm just giving a basic standards of the versions. Basically how it works is, if you do any major changes, if you're adding any new feature, something like that, this particular number will be changing. Okay, if you're doing any improvements, the second number will be changing. Okay, if there is any bug fixes or minor changes, the last number will be changing. Okay, bug fixes, improvements, and major changes, which are new features.
Okay.
Got it? Minor, medium, and major changes, which is nothing but bug fixes, improvements of the features, and new features. Okay. So, but normally, like, these version control systems generates this version automatically. And what is the specialty of this repository servers? What is the specialty of this repository servers?
It will record,
maintains the history as well as the versions. It maintains the history as well as the versions of each and every file under the whole project. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Right. So here we'll be using, like, we'll be discussing about one tool, which is nothing but GitHub. Okay. So here GitHub is a Git repository which is hosting the service. Okay. And it's got Git command, command line tool as well. You can run some commands in order to do all these changes. And GitHub server, it provides a nice web-based GUI as well, graphical user interface. You can create a account, for free. You can use it for free. Okay, and also it provides access control and server collaboration features as well. Okay, it also provides access control, like, if you want to give access for only particular people, you can give as well by using this software. If you want to give access to certain people and at certain level of access, you can give like that. You can control that accessibility. Okay, and also we can collaborate. We can have nice server collaboration. Okay, and you got like so many different type of features in this GitHub. Okay, we'll be discussing in detail further. Okay, so it's got like nice. Git is a repository basically. GitHub is a repository which is on the cloud, which is on the cloud. For example, let's say you're creating an automation framework. Okay, in your project, you've got an e-commerce project or whatever. Okay, you'll be having the master branch. You'll be having the master branch. So, like, assume, like, you have 3 people: Archana, Monica, Saiti. Let's assume like that. Okay, so she's working on she's writing test cases for contact details. She's writing test case for adding an item to the basket, and she's writing the test case for registration. Okay, or registration or compare, whatever. Right. So this is the company repository.
Okay.
This is the company repository where you already have the code. Okay. The automation framework. Okay. So what you need to do, Okay, this is wrong actually. Let me correct it. See, let's assume like, see, there might be two different chances. Okay, 1 second. Let me. Okay, so see, sometimes what happens? Sorry, when you go to the company, sometimes there are chances that you might be having a project already.
Okay.
Okay, you might be having a project already. Okay, and in some situations, okay, in some situations you don't have project, you have to create the project from scratch. You have to
Okay.
create the project from
Mhm.
scratch. So then, like, what you will be doing when you have to create a project from scratch, what you will be doing when you already have a project. So you already have some project in the server. So then what you will do, how to
What
copy
does
into
it
your local
mean?
machine.
What does it mean we already have a project?
So like, you already have a team when you joined a new company.
Okay. And they are working
They're already started working, they already
okay.
have an automation framework in place. You don't need to
Okay.
create from scratch.
Okay.
Then what you need to do, you need to start working on the existing project, right? You don't need to
Yes.
create a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to create a project on the new one. So what you need to do is, you need to, first of all, you need to clone the existing project into your local machine. Okay, so what you will be doing, you need to clone the project into your local machine. See, there are two things. One is,
What?
either you already having a project in the company where you need to go and start working on that one. Okay, like, not 100 test case already automated.
Okay.
Now you need to start automating the other test cases and adding the scripts to the existing project. Okay, in some companies, okay, they don't have any automation project, you have to start everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, two different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see in two different scenarios what you will be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's
What
assume
is
like
the
you
meaning
already
of clone?
copying. I'll tell you that one. Okay, so if you already have a project in place in your company, what you need to do is, you need to clone the existing project. Clone, what is a cloning meaning? You're taking a copy,
Okay.
you're taking a same copy as it
Mm-hmm.
is, you're taking the same copy as it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you do, you need to clone the existing project into your local machine from the server. Well, I said, like, this is a company repository server. In that server,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have company repository, e-commerce. Okay. So this is like, there will be a branches actually. Master branch is the latest one. See, always the master branch code will be deployed to the production. The latest
Okay.
master branch code will be deployed to the production. Okay. It's a company repository.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you can see, like, what you will be doing it, if you already have a project, you need to, you all three guys, you just started in the company,
Mm-hmm.
or like, these three people, or like, you all three people were working on a manual testing so far in the company, and developer created one framework and he pushed onto one repository, and he asked you, oh guys, like, he'll give you KT, he'll explain you this is the framework and all, he'll ask you to learn automation, you learn automation, then he'll say, okay, I already automated few scripts, and then you can take that copy and you start, adding more scripts to that existing one. Then what you need to do, you need to clone that project into your local machine. Okay, and then you start adding the new script and push your changes to the
So,
repository.
mm-hmm.
Okay, you take the copy as it is into your local machine, you add your changes, then you push it. Okay, same for Monica, same for Sahiti.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you're pushing all these changes, what you need to do, you need to create from, and say, this is one thing. If you
Okay.
already have,
I'll have a project.
project, what you need to do is, you need to clone, I need to add changes and push it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to create from scratch, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
then what will the DevOps will be giving one repository, empty repository. You will have nothing. Just give they'll give empty folder, the repository URL. Then what you need to do, you need to create from scratch the framework, and you need to share your project to the share the project to the repository. You need to share the project to the repository. Is it clear? So for that purpose, what exactly you need to do is, okay, so you will be creating the branch on your local machine. You will be creating the branch on your local machine. Okay, so for that one, what I can say is okay, so first of all, you need to you need to download some softwares. Okay, for softwares, you need to download git.exe file. You need to download git.exe file. Okay, so for example, if you're using the IntelliJ IDEA, so how to access the existing one and all. One second, I'll give you that. Okay, so you need to go to this website. So according to your operating system, you need to download it. Okay, so the download will be start soon, and it will download the Git file. So you need to install that Git file. You need to install that Git file. Okay.
Okay.
Once you install that Git file, okay, so as you already have that IntelliJ IDEA in your machine, if you install that git file, it's a git. If it's a Mac Windows, it will be git.exe. If it's a Mac, it's a git.dmg file actually. So once you download this software, Git software, okay. Now let me show you that. Right, let's go here. And the IntelliJ IDEA preferences. Okay, can you see version control?
Yeah.
Okay, in the settings of IntelliJ IDEA, in the version control. Okay, if you go to, can you see GitHub here?
Yeah.
And Git?
Yes.
Okay, Git is a software. So if as soon as you download, you need to open, you need to go to IntelliJ IDEA and select the settings. Okay, and go click, open this version control, then go to Git, and here it should be automatically added the path. The path will be added automatically.
Okay.
The Git file, the Git software will be automatically configured to this. If it's not configured, you need to give that Git file the path here actually, but it will be automatically done.
Okay.
Okay, right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
This is how you need to, because if you download that Git, then only you will be able to execute the GitHub command. See, whenever we need to execute Java command, say if you're working with Java, you need to download JDK so that you can execute Java commands. Right. So for Selenium WebDriver, you'll be adding the jar file. Now what you're doing, you're in the Maven, you're adding the dependencies, it's downloading the jar file. That's why you'll be able to execute the Selenium WebDriver commands. In the same way, in order to execute GitHub commands, the Git commands, you need to download Git software. Simple.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Right. So that's the one thing to do is you need to let's get this thing. So you need to download this GitHub git.exe file from this software. Okay,
Okay.
and verify the configuration with IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, in the settings. Okay, in the settings you will check that. Okay, that is there already. Then okay, when you download this Git file, so if it's a Windows, like it will download the Git command line tool as well. Okay, or like you can open MS DOS as well. Okay, so here you can see, if you type git minus version, it will show you the Git versions actually. Okay, anyway, so it's there. Yeah, this is a Mac operating system, but for that one it's different, right? So once you download this one, so you'll be able to execute Git commands. You'll be able to execute Git commands. We'll see that Git commands later, but
Okay.
for now the point is like there are two different types you need to learn. First one, you will be learning if the project is already there in place, how to get that project in your local machine and how to connect your local machine to that particular project.
Okay.
You make a tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You'll make a connection from your laptop. Okay, you will make a connection to from your computer to that particular server. Okay, so that you will take that copy and you will push all your changes to that one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is you created everything from scratch and then you can share it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how you can share? Let's see how you can share. See, because this project you created for the first time from scratch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for that one, as I said, like Git commands we are using, but we are going to use GitHub. We are going to use GitHub. Okay, what you can do is, so just what you need to do is you need to sign up for the GitHub account. Please sign up for the GitHub account. Okay, after this session, what you need to do is sign up for, it's a free sign up for free GitHub account. Okay, you'll be signing up for the free GitHub account. What username, password, and all, like you can give that one. Okay. One sec.
So, but still in the IntelliJ IDEA, you have to select Git or GitHub.
I'll tell you that one. So I'll come to that point.
Okay.
One second. So once you sign up for that one, okay, so here I already have all these repositories. Okay, so you can make private repositories and public repositories. Private repositories has to be for that one you need to pay.
Okay.
You can have account for free, but if you want to maintain private repository, if you don't want to get access to everyone, then you need to pay for it. For public, you can just sign up just like that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So once you get this, your account and all, you will have your account username and password, right? Your account and username password. Okay. So in the company as well, what they will do when you join the company, they need to give the access for that particular repository.
Okay.
Right. So to give that access, either they will ask you your username or they will ask you to give your public key or private, your private key. You need to give some key. You can generate some key by using this software in your local machine. If you give that one, they can able to identify you. They can able to recognize your identity. Okay. So if you generate with that username and password from your local machine, so it seems like this ID, ID is generated according to the based on the system. For example, you have two systems. Okay, with the same account you can generate IDs, two different IDs. Okay, that means that ID will recognize that is your system, so it will give access to do any changes. So either they will ask you your GitHub account username, or they will ask you your machine, the private key or public key, and then the DevOps will be adding that one to, giving the permissions to access, giving the permissions to access, so that you can able to access that one, so for now, the first thing is like you created a framework from scratch, and that one you have on your machine. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what? Sign up for a free GitHub account, and you will have your username and you will have your password. Okay. So if you created everything from scratch and you want to share, you want to push this to your repository, or you want to push this one to your GitHub account. So now you created GitHub account, you got GitHub user ID and password, right?
Yeah.
Now what you need to do is go to the preferences, go to GitHub. Okay, here you need to add your username and password.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So here you need to add username and password. Okay, if it's login, then it will link to that. Okay. So then it will create a link. In between, from it will create a link between your machine and your laptop and the account. Whenever you do some changes, it will go into that particular account. Does that make sense? So let's go here into this account. Not this one, sorry. Right. So in the repository, okay. So what I'm gonna go here. See how to share this project. Now you created a link, right?
Yeah.
How did you create a link? By adding your GitHub account. You created a link. Okay, by adding your GitHub link, you created a link. Okay, apply and okay. Right, and after that, what you need to do is you need to share your project to that repository. How do you do that? Can you see VCS here? The IntelliJ IDEA.
Yeah.
Okay, you have nice VCS. So you can do this in two different ways. One is by using the Git command tool, and another one is by using any GUI. Okay, for GitHub you will get some GUI as well, but here I'm using the IntelliJ IDEA UI. In the IntelliJ IDEA you got VCS option. If you click this, okay, import into version control. You want to import the existing code, the code which you have on your local machine to version control machine system. As I said, import into CVS. CVS is one type of repository. Okay, and you have Subversion, and you have Mercurial. Okay, import into Subversion, and can you see share project?
Share project.
If you click this one, so here you can select which account you want to select. I want to select this account, and what you want to do, so here you can write the description. So this project you want to push it. This project you want to push it to repository. Yes. Then what happens? It will create a link in between your laptop and that particular repository, the GitHub account, and it will push this code onto that repository. Okay, and whenever you are pushing your code, whenever you are pushing your code, as I said, like, this .iml file and the idea folder, okay, .iml file and idea folder, like, .iml file and idea folder is local system setting files. You don't need that one to push.
Okay.
So you just unselect this box, idea folder.
Okay.
Only src and pom.xml you need to push. In src, you have all the files, right?
Yeah.
Okay, these two things only you need to push. You will say initial commit. You can make a comment, whatever you want, you can, and add. See, as I have, like, two folders with the same name, it opens with the two, but when you're pushing, okay, you should not, you need to remove that two.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't allow the numbers.
Yes, not numbers, spaces and all, actually.
Okay.
Okay, add. When you say add, what exactly happens is, see, now it's pushing to GitHub master branch. Okay, it's whatever the code you have in your local machine, it's creating a tunnel to that particular GitHub
repository
account, because you gave your GitHub a username and password. Okay, in that account, it will create this repository. It will create this repository. If you refresh, can you see this one now?
Yeah.
Update just now. Updated
now.
just now. Can you see now? 33 seconds ago. This is here you can see all the commits. 39 seconds ago. Who done that? Srikanth Gowda. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So who done the changes and where they done the changes? Everything will be recorded. Okay, you can see all the files here. So this is how you will be sharing your files. This is how you will be sharing your project or files. Okay, so I have recorded, I have everything actually. So here I posted everything for the Windows. Okay, first you need to go to this website, download. Okay, and you need to do the setup. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you will be download. When you're downloading GitHub setup, it will give you options for this one. Can you see this? Git bash, Git GUI. You can select these two.
Okay.
So this is Git bash is a command line tool. Git GUI is a GUI tool. It gives a nice GUI as well. You can use this one, or you can use IntelliJ IDEA one. Okay, just select those two. Okay, and after that, when you have in the IntelliJ IDEA, you click file, settings, version control, you git, and then you will find the path. This path is there or not. Okay, if the path is not there, you'll be giving this git.exe file folder. That will be in the program files, in the git folder, in the cmd folder, you will see that. If it's not there, then you will give, but normally it will be automatically configured. Okay. And after that, if you want to share the project, setting up the project on the GitHub, like share the project, what you will do. So you'll click,
go to the VCS.
VCS, import into version control, share the project on the GitHub, and the following, this window will be opened. Then you will be unselecting this idea folder, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to make any,
and I think here we have to give the login details, right? In this one.
No, before itself you will be doing it. The configuration, GitHub account, and those things you will be already doing it.
Okay.
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 So here just only how to push it. So you will do this commit, and then it will be pushed onto this repository. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now how to copy, how to get the project from the existing project. Getting project from GitHub to your account.
Okay.
For that one, what you need to do is, first you will open that github.com. You will be able to see the new repository on your account basically. Okay. Or I'll be sending this URL to you. Okay. Then when you open, it will come up for you. It will be open for you. It will be public, so you can access. First of all, what you need to do is, first you need to create an account. You log in, and whatever the URL I'm going to give you, you open that account. Okay. You open that URL. You logged in already.
So I have to open my GitHub account and then copy this URL.
See, I'm going to give you this URL to you, whichever I sent you. Okay. This URL will be on this one. Then when this will be open. After that, what you need to do, can you see clone or download here?
Yeah.
If you download, it's just a copy. It won't create a link. But if you clone, okay, it will create a link in between your laptop and this one.
Okay.
Okay, it is like a communication line. It opens a communication line. You need to have internet, but it will open a communication line between GitHub repository and your laptop. And you can get the changes from that, or you can push the changes to that.
Okay.
Make sense? So for that one, what you need to do is, can you see clone or download?
Yeah.
Click this one. When you click, can you see this? The URL. So can you see this one, this button? Click this one. So it will be copied. If you click this one, it will be copied, or you can copy this one. You can copy the whole URL. Okay. Then what you need to do is, in the IntelliJ IDEA, if you go to VCS, okay, and check out from version control. Before it was importing. You are sharing the project. This time
But
you
now
are
you are
getting the project.
the project.
So here you can go to Git, and here it will ask you the URL.
Okay.
When it asks the URL, okay, this is the URL, but where, and this is the directory where in local machine where you want to store it. You can give whatever the folder you want to store it.
Yeah.
And if you say clone, okay, you can test it whether the connection is there or not. Connection is there. Okay, if you clone this project from that particular repository, and it will be stored, like, you know, it will be copied everything in your local machine in that folder. Does that make sense? For example, if I want to do it in a desktop, I want to create a new folder, maybe. Let's say, okay. I'll cancel this. Or do you want to add the files to Git? No, cancel. Let's assume, like, you know, here I want to create a new folder, my projects. In this one, I want to clone that. So where you want to do this one? On the desktop in the my projects. My project is for just created, empty, right?
Yeah.
Open. If I say clone, that will be automatically cloned in that. So can you see that? It's cloning the source repository of from that one to the you have checked out an IntelliJ IDEA project, blah blah blah. Would you like to open it? Okay, you don't need to open that. Okay, if you go here, can you see the project here?
Yeah.
So this is coming from repository. So when you clone or when you share, you are creating a link in between your laptop as well as the GitHub account, the GitHub repository account. Okay, this is also I recorded here. Okay, you copy this link. Okay, you go to VCS, check out version control, GitHub or Git. Then following the windows here, you'll be pasting the UI a little bit change anyway. So here you can, before it used to give like a different directory name, but now everything is one place. Okay, and here you can paste that URL. You say clone. Okay, and after that, what happens? It will be cloned into your local machine. Okay, this is how exactly you can do. So what you had to do here, 1 second. See, there are different type of versions. Like, you know, you'll be creating the branches and you'll be writing your code, you'll be pushing, you're committing, you're doing all these things. Okay, but for now, what I suggest you is, you just create a GitHub account. Okay, go to GitHub. Okay, go to github.code.com. Okay, you just go to, you just open a GitHub account here. Oh God, okay. Okay, you just open a register for the free GitHub account.
Mm-hmm.
Once you register, you just share the project.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is one task. And another one, I'm going to give you this URL to you.
Okay.
I'm going to send you one URL in the email. You
Mm-hmm.
just clone that project.
Okay.
Okay, this is what exercise you need to do. In the
Okay.
next class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, like, how when you do changes, then
How
what you're
to-
going to do.
Yeah.
How to, for example, when somebody done the changes, then
Mm-hmm.
how to get those changes into your local machine.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you do changes, then how you going to push them.
Okay.
Okay, this kind of exercise I'm going to explain you in the next session. So until then, what you need to do, you need to create an account. I need to do this little exercise.
Okay.
Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all for today.